Hey guys and girls, what's up? It's me, Nath again, and today I wanted to try and set some hot laps around the Spanish Grand Prix. Um, Ever since the new game came out, I wanted to do another video like I did a couple months ago, where I had tried to beat the 2025 Australian GP pole position time on F124. And since we have the respective game for this year now, I thought it would be a good idea to do the same for this game. And so we're going to be driving in the McLaren today, obviously, because Oscar Piastri drives McLaren. He took pole position. And we're going to be trying to go ahead and take pole off of him. Not really, but, you know, we'll see. So what I'm going to do first, probably, at least, I think, is I'm going to go ahead and I will set, or try to set at least just a sort of like a banker lap. So instead of going full balls to the walls immediately right off rip, I'm just going to tiptoe my way into the circuit, just find all the racing lines if I can, or at least remember properly what the racing line is that I'm supposed to take. Because sometimes after not racing a track for a couple months or even a year sometimes, like that, you can forget where the braking points are and how to drive the track properly. So instead of going all out, this first lap I'm just going to try and set a good representative lap time to see what I need to aim for. Turn 4 is usually decently hard because it's just a right-hander that's could be taken in 5th, can be taken from between 3rd and 5th gear. Turn 6 is easy, like 2nd gear, short shift for 3rd, and then turn 7 is non-existent. And you have the turn 7, turn 8 complex, so turn 7 to 4th gear up to 5th, and then turn 8 is just non-existent. You accelerate out of there. Turn 9 should always be flat out, regardless of what car you're running, as long as you have the right setup. And then back straight down to turn 10. Turn 10 about 100-meter board, break down into 3rd gear, let the car run wide, not that wide because it's going to invalidate your lap, but let it run wide onto the red, and then turn 11 you just kind of want to hug the inside without touching the curb, and accelerate out onto the straight to 13 and 14. Usually that should be fine. It should give you a representative lap time if you at least nail those points. But yeah, let's go ahead and try and see if we can set some good lap times. Get closer to the apex there. Obviously, I'm not going to commentate over the whole thing because it's hard to commentate while I'm driving, but I will try. God damn it. I was going to say I will try to commentate as much as I can, but sometimes it's going to throw my rhythm off, like there. Okay, we're just going to drive into the grass. That's fine. That's fine. We're still going. Honestly, invalidating a lap kind of is better than just driving all valid lap, because sometimes if you invalidate the lap, it's going to make it a little bit easier to find your brake markers and stuff instead of trying to focus on staying within track limits. You can just focus on trying to find where all your pace is. So that's kind of why I'm trying to go a little bit faster this lap. Usually it takes me about 3 to 4 laps to really warm up and get where I need to go, or get as fast as I need to go. But it's also about finding the right line. So sometimes, like right there, you go a little bit too inside on the corner, you need to adjust that for the next lap. But that was already 0.6 faster than the first lap. We're going to see if this lap I can go even faster. So we're going to turn when you want to break around the 100-meter board and hug the apex down to 3rd gear up to 4th. If you want, you can cut that curb right there flat out through turn 3. It's not a problem for these modern Formula 1 cars. Up to turn 4, you want to break it about the 50-meter board, throw it inside, then go down to 3rd gear, let it run outside to the outside of the track. Up to 6th gear, and then to turn 5, and break it about the 50-meter board and let it slow down to 2nd gear. Hug the inside, let it run wide onto the exit curb right here. And then through up to turn 7, you want to slow down to 3rd, 4th gear, hug the inside, maybe let it... fuck. Oh, I messed that up. So we're going to skip ahead to lap 3, at the end of lap 3 now. We're going to try this again. This was really, for some reason, this was difficult for me to do. I wasn't very focused at first trying to hit these laps. I was more focused on like trying to be fast than actually hitting my apexes and doing everything properly. If you focus too much on trying to go fast, you will make mistakes, is what I've learned throughout my 11 years of playing these games and doing sim racing for 3 of those. You want to be consistent. Consistency is faster than just being outright fast, because if you try to be outright fast, you'll make mistakes. If you try to build consistency, even if you're about 2/10 of a lap slower, being consistent over a race distance, you will be faster than someone who puts in like qualifying lap in the middle of the race and then is a second lap slower than you on average because they keep making mistakes. So doing all these laps is just about building consistency. That's the main thing that you want to focus on when you're doing time trial, especially warming up for a race. You just want to try and build consistency. Try to find your breaking points and hit your marks whenever you can. So far, it does seem like we're actually going to have a valid lap go in, as I have found that consistent line, and I have found that consistent pace now. So this lap should count. Never mind. We're just going to go into the gravel. That's fine. So skipping into lap 5 now, we're going to restart that. We're going to go again. I'm going to commentate over this lap. We'll see if I can do that properly. We're going to be up all the way into 8th gear, revving the engine all the way out, clean to turn 1. 100-meter board down to 3rd gear, slap it all the way down to then turn 2, ride the inside curb, let it run wide for into turn 3 on the inside, and then just let the car drift wide as you accelerate through the corner. Coming to turn 4, you want to spot the 550-meter board, chuck it down to 3rd gear, let it run outside again, up to 6th gear, and like I said earlier, let it get to about that dip down in the hill into 2nd gear, hug the inside apex, let it run wide on the outside curb, up into 7th gear by the time you get into turn 7. Turn 7, you want to go down to 4th gear, hit the inside here, and then let it run wide onto this yellow sausage curb in turn 8. And then you take turn 9 flat out, regardless what car you take, like I said earlier. Let it run on the outside curb, hit your DRS up to 8th gear, spot the 100-meter board, break down into 3rd gear, hit the inside curb, try to hit your apex, like we're not going to do, and then we're just going to hit the sausage curb. All right, never mind. Take 5 or whatever it is. So Clearly, I'm voicing over this, like trying to do my best. Clearly, this wasn't the best form of set of runs. The next couple runs will be better. I had to change setups because my setup actually was kind of a little bit unstable into the corners. So changing setups will usually help as well. But we are going to change the setup to a different one. I'm going to be using Alfie Butcher's setup instead of my own that I developed for the Grand Prix that I did for my review video of the actual F125 game. So we're going to be using Alfie Butcher's setup instead because Alfie Butcher's is more geared towards qualifying laps and time trial instead of the actual race, which will make you faster over one lap than it will obviously over a race distance. So with that being said, we are going to head out again and hit some more flying laps because the goal is to try and beat Oscar Piastri's lap time or at least get reasonably close or as close as I can get. Hopefully this lap will be valid. I didn't want to spend too much time on this. We're already on lap 9. We are actually going to get away with being on the white line there. You do want to run wide as wide as you can into the final corner into turn 14 for Spain. But usually it really doesn't matter how wide you go as long as you hit the outside curve. Again, 100-meter board, you want to break down into 3rd gear, hit the inside curve, and try not to slide like I did there. Usually sliding will rob you of time, so just like don't do that. Clearly. You can tell I'm really good at this because my lines are definitely the best. But so far we do have a valid lap on the board, so 113.1. If you recall, Oscar Piastri's pole position time was a 111.5 yesterday. So we are going to try and hit that 111.5. If not, my next goal is a 112.0. And if I can't hit that, somewhere in the 112s is the goal. We are going to mess up turn 9 there. I have to lift because I'm sliding a little through the corner. Hopefully turn 10 will be fine. We are currently valid, so we are going to actually hit turn 10 properly. Accelerate well out of the corner. Are we actually going to be able to make this lap stick? That is the question. We are good so far. Down into turn 13, we go wide a little bit. We're going to hit the outside curb. Turn 14, we actually hit it properly. We are actually going to get another good lap on the board. See 113.0.5. Now, I'm going to stop commentating after this because as I'm voicing over, I do know that the next lap that I'm going to show is in editing is actually going to be my best lap. So, as we come to the close of this lap segment, I will let you know I did not actually hit the pole position time. I tried as best as I could. I was at this for about an hour. It took about 13 laps to get the lap I wanted. But in the end, we didn't hit the 111.5. I won't spoil what lap time I actually got. But let's just say I would not have been in the top 10. And so we're going to spin out here. Let me show you the best lap I got. tell you that lap felt good, that lap felt really good. It was only 112.7, so we only would have put us 14th on the real life grid for the Grand Prix, for the Spanish Grand Prix, but that lap in the time trial did feel really, really good to drive. So I will say I do think that the F125 game, they did slow down the cars a little bit compared to F124, so it is going to be really hard unless you're like an esports level pro to actually hit the real life pole position lap times, which I'm obviously not. But that being said, we are going to come to a stop, and we are actually going to check out the leaderboards. I do want to say thank you very much for anybody who stuck around this long in the video, for actually watching all of it. We are top 9% in the world. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.